Good evening and welcome to tonight's public hearing on the FY 2017-2021 Capital Improvement Program. On behalf of the school board, I would like to thank you for taking time this evening to come and talk to us about the CIP. If you have written comments, please give them to a deputy clerk seated over here to my right. And please turn off or silence your cell phones. Tonight we have 5 speakers. Each speaker is allotted 3 minutes, and to be respectful of everyone, we ask that you stay within that time limit. The deputy clerk will start the timer when you begin to speak, and you will be able to see the time remaining on the clock on the lectern. The buzzer will sound at the conclusion of your 3 minutes. 3 names and their speaker numbers will be announced at a time. When you hear your name and speaker number, please move closer to the front of the auditorium so you will be ready when it is your turn to speak. If speakers are not here when their name is called, those names will be called again at a later time. If you are here and you have not registered to speak tonight but would like an opportunity to address the board, please see a deputy clerk seated to my right, over there, to sign up for one of the 5 extra reserved speaker slots. Your name will be called after registered speakers. Also, there will be an opportunity for individuals to speak if there are no-show speaker slots remaining at the end of the hearing. After all the registered speakers have addressed the board, I will ask whether there are any no-show slots available. For this, we ask that you state your full name at the time you speak. After you have spoken, please see the deputy clerk so that she may collect your contact information for the record. We'll walk you through that if you need to do it. Throughout the evening, you may notice board members leave the table at times, but they will have access to a TV that is broadcasting the public hearing behind the stage. Before we start tonight's hearing, I would like to reiterate that FY 2017-2021 CIP is a planning document that outlines options and suggestions for future capacity needs in FCPS. We will discuss the CIP at our work session on January 11 and consider adopting the document on January 21st. We welcome all of you here tonight, and at this time I'd like to call on Dr. Garza for brief remarks.
Well, I wasn't expecting to have the opportunity for some brief remarks, but I do want to, I know we have members of our FPAC committee here and other citizens who've been engaged in helping us. I have to compliment Jeff Plattenberg and all of our facilities planning team. Amy is here too. There's been a lot of effort, and I hope that's apparent to the community to make sure that this document is reflective of feedback that we've gotten from the community over time. And as the Madam Chair pointed out, it's a work in progress, and every year we keep, I hope, making it better and better. And so we welcome your feedback tonight on how we might continue to improve upon this work. We know that we're certainly challenged as it relates to our needs for our system. They are great, and certainly when we have limited amount of resource, that always makes these challenges, I think, particularly daunting, is because we have so many needs and a limited amount of money to address those needs. So I do appreciate members of the public that are here and certainly look forward to your input and feedback on this document. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Dr. Garza, for speaking on your feet like that. All right, our first 3 speakers, Matthew Lonham, Lisa Burton, and Kathy Hosek. Come on down to the lectern. Matthew Lonham. Okay, next speaker is Lisa Burton, to be followed by Kathy Hosek and Finyan Chen.
Good evening, Dr. Garza, school board representatives, and FCPS staff. My name is Lisa Burton, and I have 3 children, a 9th grader, a 6th grader, and a 3-year-old. Thank you all for your efforts and for the opportunity to speak about the proposed CIP. Specifically, I'd like to address a date change on page 41 of the document. Yes, parents actually read the CIPs and all FCPS communications in detail to plan for their children's academic futures. CIPs have a wealth of information, and we rely on them just as you do. This CIP on page 41 originally had an anticipated effective date for an AA Center realignment to Cooper Middle School of 2017, but now that date has been pushed up to 2016. This change is completely contrary to every communication received thus far from FCPS. Some history. The 2016-20 CIP potential solutions included creating a new center at Cooper with a timeline of 2019 to 21. This has been the only published timeframe for this action. In June 2015, rumors, not official communications, emerged suggesting a change. So I wrote to Dr. Garza and received an email back from Ms. Goddard on behalf of Dr. Presidio that stated, there are no plans to open additional level 4 middle school centers at this time. This was good information, but still seemed a little vague for my taste, so I asked for further confirmation and received the following from Ms. Horn. Dear Ms. Burton, I want to confirm that in the fall of 2016, rising 7th graders who are AA Center eligible will continue to have the option to attend their designated AA Center at either Kilmer or Longfellow Middle School if Cooper is their base school. Sincerely, Carol Horn. Well, this was explicit and clear, something concrete around which to plan. For many, it was good news, and it traveled fast. This email found its way to several educational forums and blogs, and many parents made decisions based on this explicit confirmation. Know that I am in no way impugning Cooper Middle School or anyone who works there, nor has my family ruled it out as an option. But there was a reason I requested concrete confirmation back in June. That was the time to investigate other academic avenues. Move ahead to November 2015, and Instructional Services announces meetings to discuss options for requiring all AA students to attend Cooper in 2016 or 17. This was a complete shock. How was this ample notice and no surprises as repeatedly promised to the community? Surprise date changes simply aren't fair to parents. One certainly can't perform adequate due diligence on middle school options for 2016 starting now. It's simply too late. Any start date prior to 2017 does not give ample notice, and worse yet, belies an explicit confirmation that FCPS gave to parents just 6 months ago. Any start date for requiring AA students to attend Cooper prior to 2017 should be removed from all discussions and this CIP. At the end of the day, parents are just trying to do what they feel is best for their children and deserve to be given truthful and trustworthy information to do just that. Cooper is slated for renovation soon. I'm no expert, but I do have an electrical engineering degree and 10 years experience in commercial utilities management. Perhaps it would be easier, cheaper, and more importantly, safer for students to renovate Cooper before you fill it over capacity. It's just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathy Hosek, to be followed by Finian Chen and Kristen Haynes. Kathy Hosek.
Good evening, members of the school board and audience. My name is Kathy Hosick, and I am the PTA president at Stratford Landing Elementary School, located in Region 3. I'm here to publicly thank Mr. Plattenberg, Mr. Sneed, and Dr. Garza, and Amy, and FPAC for all of their very hard work on the latest CIP. This document is not only much easier to understand, it also contains important information that we asked about in our community meetings when discussing the building of a new school or reopening Virginia Hills. And a little history about that is we had emergency 4 sessions held and the community was invited. They weren't on any calendar, they just happened because we asked for them and they listened and we got them. The PTA leadership in Region 3, particularly the West Potomac Pyramid, is ready to work together with not only the Fairfax County Public Schools Administration, but also with the Board of Supervisors. Our region is in need of a comprehensive plan that spans more than just 5 years. The Route 1 corridor is undergoing major changes, and all of these things need to be considered when the boundary study begins. We will need to look at the broader context in the Route 1 corridor, as there are many construction projects in the works and in the planning stages, and they need to be included in the boundary conversation. We are strongly in support of community schools. I think that was evident in the building of the new school as opposed to the Virginia Hills Art Magnet. It is so important to make the school one of the centers of the community, and it is critical to have the support of the community to ensure the school and student success. There are a lot of positive changes coming to our region, and we want to be there to help make those changes. Karen, the new Mount Vernon School Board rep, was very instrumental in leading the team last year, along with Sue Gennario, who's sitting out here. She brings an incredible depth of knowledge of our region, having been born and raised here and seeing the school system over many changes to this position, and we are very excited to be working with her and everyone else. And people have asked me if I think it was worth putting in the time. Are they listening? Are you getting through? And I think you guys have shown in the latest CIP that not only is it worth the time, but it works. So I wanted to thank you.
Thank you. Finian Chen, to be followed by Kristen Haynes.
Good evening, Dr. Garza, School Board Representative, and SPFS staff. My name is Finian Chen, a mother of a 6th grader and a 2nd grader. I'm speaking here today for myself and also on behalf of a few friends of mine who are in the audience who share similar concerns as mine. Specifically, I would like to speak about the same change that Lisa just mentioned, our first speaker, about the potential day change of Cooper Middle School to be an AAP center in 2017, but now this date has been pushed up to 2016. We went to an information session held at Cooper Middle School early last December, and we're told that FCPS board would vote on two options. Option one is that all Cooper eligible students will have to go to Cooper in 2016, and option two is to let all students and parents have the choice of going to Longfellow and Kilmer. The table that was distributed to us at the meeting showed a nice steady increase in the enrollment of AAP students at Cooper in the past 3 years, and you can see the constructed chart in your handout. We believe that if the current practice is to be continued, which is option two, the projected enrollment at Cooper next year will follow a linear trend and will reach an enrollment of around 134 students. The alternative scenario is that to discontinue the current practice and go with option one, essentially that's no option at all. This would result in a steep increase in AAP enrollment, an increase of 143% from the current year, and this simply doesn't seem to be ideal to us. The success of an AAP center largely depends on the qualification and experience of teachers. As someone who have worked in the higher education for over 15 years, I know firsthand that a PhD or a certificate does not translate readily into excellent teaching in the classroom. It is simply not easy to find or train a large number of highly qualified AAP teachers all at once. The whole situation seems particularly disconcerting to us, as we also heard at the meeting that a renovation will be underway at Cooper. The addition of this many students during renovation could lead to crowdedness, chaos, or even potential health hazards. Data also suggests that enrollment at Longfellow and Kilmer is already down and will decrease further in 2016. Based on the data posted on FCPS website, Longfellow's enrollment is already 100 students down compared with 2014. And this number, we believe, will decline further as more and more parents and students choose to go to Cooper, as the AAP program there is clearly gaining strength under its current leadership. We want to applaud the FCPS school board for not rushing into a restructuring of the AAP middle school center programs 3 years ago. The gradual implementation of the existing plan in the past year has paved the way for future success of the school and has gained overwhelming support from the community. A sudden discontinuation of the current practice may disrupt an otherwise smooth transition, create unnecessary pressure for the
Chen,
school
could
and
you-
staff, as well as anxiety on the part of the students and the staff. So
Could you
the
finish
new
up?
timeline would make it very hard for this to proceed. I'm done.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you very
so
much.
much
I
for your
appreciate your
consideration.
coming to speak. Kristen Haynes, and is Matthew Lonham in the auditorium? No? Okay. Ms. Haynes?
Good evening. My name is Kristen Haynes, and I am the parent of a current junior and senior as well as a graduate of Falls Church High School. I've spoken on and off since 2012 about the state of our school. I've attended superintendent listening tours, FPAC retreats, a facility charrette, and spoken numerous times at this hearing, the budget hearing with FCPS and the County Board of Supervisors, with little benefited. I've learned the ranking system for the renovation queue has serious flaws, discriminated against older, small facilities, and doesn't prioritize more serious and specific building needs. After touring many other high schools a few years ago, I discovered that Falls Church High was the only high school in the county that didn't have handicap accessible seating in its auditorium. Appalling, since we've housed the students with physical disabilities since 1988, and the ADA Act was enacted in 1990. Thanks to the prior school board, our auditorium was modified with the seating in 2012, and our students are no longer parked in the aisles. This is concrete example number one of neglect. After the chemistry fire at Woodson this fall, it was posed by one of our parents, do we have a sprinkler system? And the answer is no. This has affected fundraising for our school for quite some time. When I asked Sandy Evans, our school board rep, if she could find out which other high schools in our county don't have sprinklers, we were told West Springfield and Falls Church, 2 of the 5 legacy high schools that are all sorely overdue for renovations. When I asked Sandy again why the other 3 legacy high schools were modified, we were told that the decision makers who decided this are no longer at Gatehouse, so there are no answers. Apparently, there's no paperwork to support this either. It will remain a mystery as to why FCHS didn't rank for the safety enhancement. This is concrete example number 2 of neglect. I ask you how many more offenses are there and when will we discover them? I ask you whether you can come up with a plan to speed up Falls Church's renovation before 2022, a mere 32 years after the ADA Act. Our only high school for the disabled will begin construction to be adequately safe facility. The final legacy high school in the county to become renovated. What kind of society would we be living in if laws and code applied 10% only in decision making? The American Disabilities Act was enacted in 1990 before our current high school students were even born. Isn't it time we pay attention to the law? Isn't it time to treat all of our students with dignity and equity in safe schools? I hope this new school board can make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Matthew Lonum? No? All right, we have reached the end of our speaker list. Is there anyone in the audience who did not register to speak tonight but would like the opportunity? Okay, please go ahead and sign up with the clerk right there to your left. While that's happening, I should have recognized our FPAC members who are here today, Facilities Planning and Advisory Committee. If you all could just wave so that we can thank you for your work. Thank you very much. FPAC are very important advisors to the school board as we do all this complicated work on the capital improvement. Sure, and also while we're waiting, we have 4 new board members tonight, and we'll go ahead and recognize and introduce them. Jeanette Huff, new at-large board member, if you just want to wave. And Karen Corbett-Sanders here, new board member from Mount Vernon. Tom Wilson, new board member from Sully District. And Dahlia Palchik, new representative from Providence District. Okay, sir, if you would come to the lectern. Yeah, go ahead and tell us your name, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening, Dr. Gazer and school board members. Like Dr. Gazer, I didn't plan to speak, so because I wasn't sure I could make it. I'm talking about the options we have. I'm a parent of a 6th grader from Churchill Road. I'm talking about the email we got last November. We are, for the 6th grade AAP students from Churchill Road, we have 2 options. We're giving 2 options. Option 1 is pretty much no option. All the students from AAP are required to go to Cooper. Option 2 is there's an option. Basically, students can choose, or parents can choose to go to Cooper or Longfellow or Kilmer. So I had an open mind. I went to the Cooper Middle School session, the information session. From that session, I learned there's going to be construction. So if all the students from all these feeder schools are forced to go to Cooper's, first of all, every year there's going to be 200 students. Next year, it's going to be more. And so that's a problem when you're doing construction with hundreds of new students in there. And so then Principal Randall from Cooper in that information session basically assured us we have everything, every program that Longfellow has, just bring your kids to our school. She showed everything over there. So one of the parents asked, how many students in the Algebra 2 class? Principal Randall said, there's a 1. He's taking online class. So I'm sure in the long term, Cooper will be good AAP center, but this time, I'm not sure it's ready for full scale. I mean, so what I'm saying is we should have the option. We can have the option to either go to Cooper or go to Longfellow or Kilmer. It's not, we shouldn't be required to say all the AAP students must go to Cooper. That's going to be a problem. Not only the construction, also this the AP center. We only have a few months before the fall semester starts. How many new teachers we're going to get? That's another problem because we need qualified AP teachers if we have like all the AP new students coming into that school. I think that's on top of that, if someone decides to say, okay, well, I want my children to go to private school, it's too late for them to apply, because it's right now it's like January, we already missed deadline for other application, financial aid, all that type of things. So, all right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Tu. Okay, it's probably the last call. Anyone who would still, okay, great, we have another speaker. Great. If you would just say your name when you get there, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Susan Kurtz, and like my predecessor and Dr. Garza, I was not prepared to speak tonight, but in sitting and listening, I feel moved to share my story. I'm the mother of 2 boys, one with special needs and one in AAP. So I live on both ends of the spectrum. My son with autism has left the public school system because they have not succeeded with him. I was left with few options, and I had to scramble. And my ultimate result was that I homeschool my son with special needs. He does not attend Fairfax County Public Schools. My other son has succeeded and thrives in his AAP environment, and we looked forward to having the choice between Kilmer and Cooper. Had we known that there was another option on the table, we would have explored our options. I would not have backed myself into a corner and homeschooled him, but I would have looked at private schools. I would have had him tested. I would look at my options. I would apply for financial aid. If you take away option 2 and leave us with option 1, which my predecessors have said is no option at all, you also take away my other options. You have taken away my time. You have taken away my options. And so I beg of you to follow option 2, the timeline that was outlined, the timeline that I understand was put in writing to my friend Lisa Burton, and give the parents a chance for option 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? No? Well, thank you. I also wanted to shout out to Harris Latif, last year's student member on the school board. Thank you for being with us again before you head back to school. All right, well, I do want to thank you all very much for coming out tonight. We have been taking notes and paying close attention to what you have to say. We really appreciate your being here. Again, we will continue to discuss this, and the board will talk about it at our work session on January 11th, and we will vote on it on January 21st. So no further speakers. This hearing is adjourned.